She is good at hiding. All right, so she eats meat. And so what we're actually going to do right now is we are going to make her play a little bit of fetch, see if she'll want to play. But we feed her 5 days a week. She gets a regular diet of like hamburger meat and steak meat. 1 day a week, which is tomorrow, she will actually get a fast day where they don't get anything. So these animals aren't going to catch something every single day. So we try and replicate that as well as possible by giving them just a fast day. And then Sundays, they actually get a guinea pig and a big hunk of bone. So we try and replicate their diets as close as they would have in their natural habitats. And that's what they're pretty much used to. Her favorite is probably the steak meat. She also gets sometimes treats of whipped cream, which she loves. And we use it for training as well. So right now I'm going to try and see if she will start moving. So we have something set up that's kind of like you would use for a dog. It's a chuck it. Normally it's for tennis balls. Today we're going to use it for steak. There she goes. But yeah, she gets big hunks of meat and she really likes it, you can see. We also will save the blood from their diets and we'll freeze it. Go! Oh, that wasn't very good. But it's a nice cool treat when it's hot outside. Oh, and it helps if you're, oh, Joe, if you're actually like good at throwing, which I am not. Okay, here. Come on, buddy.
Here, Katie, show us what you're doing.
So I just loaded up. Super fun, right? Really gross. And then I'm gonna just chuck it. But again, I'm not very athletic, so it would probably do a lot better if I was. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm also not throwing it very far from her. So this is kind of a little snack. We do, again, use these for training. So what we do is, training-wise, we will help her, or well, I guess let her participate in her own medical care. So we will ask her, she's like injection trained, so we can ask her to lay against a fence, and we can give her if she needs a vaccination or anything like that. She gets a treat, and it's no stress for her, and then we get to give her the medication she needs. So it's a win-win for everybody. And she'll also let us like look at her paws. She'll stand up against the fence so we can like see her body condition. And just like, oh, she's looking a little bit thin, so we'll give her more food, you know, stuff like that. So it's really important, and it's something that otherwise you would have to, you know, sedate them because they are super dangerous animals. So it's just, and honestly, it's enriching for her because she gets to kind of figure out, it's kind of like a game for her. She has to figure out what we're asking her to do, and she gets treats for it. But we do give these guys enrichment every single day. So today she's kind of getting this chuck it. I'll give her something else too because I didn't do a good job at this at all. Go around. But we have like barrels, we have balls, just all sorts of things. We have fun scents. So the more disgusting we think it is, the more they like it. So they get stuff like deer scent or rabbit scent. They get the smelliest cologne you can even imagine. They really like that stuff. I don't know what she's doing right now.
Do you know how many Sumatran tigers are in the wild?
So from what I've heard, there are less than 400 in the wild. I think from 2008 it was like 400 to 600, but because of unsustainable palm oil, it actually has caused a lot of deforestation in those areas, so now I think the numbers are less than 400. But yeah, so not a lot. They are critically endangered, and they need, you know, a lot of help.
Can you tell all the viewers that just joined in again about the Sustainable Palm Oil app and how they can help?
Sure can. So the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo actually developed a free app that you can download. It's just called Palm Oil, and you can take it to a store on your phone and just scan a barcode, and it'll tell you if they're using palm oil from the Roundtable of Sustainable Palm Oil, or if the company could use work and, you know, work towards more sustainable options. So then you can kind of choose with your buying power what is going to be the more sustainable option. And it helps tigers, but it also helps orangutans, rhinos, and elephants, and all the ecosystems around those areas. So it's like a really good app. I would highly recommend it. Super easy to use and free, of course. Oh, Jamali. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you can hear it. The lions are roaring right now, so they'll do what's called a chorus, and it's kind of just to check in to see where everybody is. They do it several times a day, mostly in the morning, sometimes at nights, but they're just calling their pride, and everybody's seeing where everybody is. We do have 2 separate prides right now, so they're just checking in. Jamali, go down your stairs. Go get it.
Do tigers like water?
Tigers love water. They're one of the only cat species besides jaguars who will swim and like swimming. But yeah, they definitely do. We have a pool for Jamali over there, which I need to fill again today. It's leaking a little bit, but she does love water, and on hot days you'll see her in her pool taking a swim, or if she gets a really nice item, like we'll give her cardboard boxes and stuff, she'll just drag it straight into the water. There she goes. She's going to find it.
Going right now?
So we have a moat down there, and she has access to it. She can get down there. Obviously, she saw that I really messed up my throw and threw one down there, so she's going to get that meat. But she also will spend some time down here, too, during the heat of the day, because there's a nice shady spot over here, and it's nice and cool. So sometimes if you don't see her in the yard, she's also just hiding down here. There she is. Oh, she's got it. Okay, good. Any other questions?
Not so far. But we have had 3 people donate already, so big shout out to everyone who's donated.
All right, thanks for donating, guys. We really appreciate it. Of course, we are closed to the public right now, so all of our revenue depends on guests and people coming in to see our beautiful animals. So we really appreciate that y'all are doing that. We also have an emergency fund set up at sazoo.org that you can donate to as well, which would really help. Or, liking and sharing these videos. Because who doesn't want to see the Royal Jamali, right? She's a beauty.
Gabriel is asking if it's true that the white marks behind their ears are to discourage predators.
So yeah, that's what experts think they are. The white spots behind their ears are called eye spots, and they think it is something that looks like an eye, that if a predator would sneak up on them, they would say, "Whoa, wait, they're looking at me," and they wouldn't try and get them from behind, which is more safe for them. I've also heard it's kind of like a go marking too, so for their cubs that are going to follow behind mom, it means like, hey, we're leaving now. So they'll go with mom when they see that white spot.
Kelsey would like to know if tigers follow a laser around like house cats.
I honestly don't know that. We have not tried. I wouldn't put her past her. She is very much like a house cat. If we give her anything in the yard, like a barrel or something, she'll knock it right off the edge, which is great for us because then we have to lug it all the way back up. But I wouldn't be surprised if she did follow a laser and run after one.
Kara, age 6, would like to know if you know how many stripes.
All right, we're gonna go unplugged. Go ahead and talk, see if people can hear you.
Hello.
Comment if you guys can hear us.
Can I hear?
No comments so far. There we go.
They can hear?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so if she's feeling comfortable, it's something that they normally would do for like their siblings or their mom when they're really young. It's called a chuff, and they just breathe air through their nose. We kind of do it through our mouths if we try and do it back.
Can you do it again?
Yeah, it sounds like a sound, which again, that's not great. But so she'll make that sound if she's comfortable. She normally does it in the mornings, but if you're too slow with her food or something like that, then she'll hiss at you and be upset. But for the most part, I would say, yeah, she does like us and we love her. So we're very happy. What are you doing?
Dante would like to know if it is true that researchers working in tiger country like to wear masks on the backs of their heads facing behind them.
I have actually heard that before. There was actually, yeah, a place where people kept getting attacked by tigers, and so the solution they had was to give people masks. And they're like, really? You think this is gonna work? And it actually, everyone who wore a mask did not get attacked. So yeah, just like the eye spots that the tigers have, they figured out it works for tiger attacks as well. Oh, she's gonna scent mark. So these guys do have their territory. This is all Jamali's territory, so she scent marks a lot, which means she sprays on the wall so that she knows this is her place, and if other tigers come in, they know this is her place.
Since she's down there and I don't have a great shot of her, could you... Oh, there she is. She heard me. Could you give us a little tour of her enclosure and let us know what are some of the pieces and the structures that you put in here, and what was the thought process behind that?
So this is her exhibit. She has obviously this moat, which she does like to spend time on. We have a staircase going up so that we can actually like retrieve stuff if she dumps it off there, because she loves to. She's got a pool over there, which looks a little empty. I need to fill it today. She also has a hammock, which she really likes to spend, you know, hot days on. It's nice and breezy. And some platforms. So tigers like to climb a little bit more than lions. So we give her platforms so she can hop up and down on. She can obviously go down into the moat with. She's got stairs that she actually uses, which is weird. We have a palm tree over there, which I think was for decoration, but she's used it as her own personal scratching post. You can see it's just totally scratched. And then we have some forest in the back area. And it's all hers, so yeah, she sprays all of it all the time.
So we must have lost audio earlier before Kara was able to hear the answer to her question about the stripes. So would you mind repeating if you know how many stripes they have?
Yeah, the answer is that I do not know how many stripes she has. It's too many for me to count for sure. I definitely don't have time, but they are individual to each tiger, so she has her own unique pattern of stripes, and she was born with those stripes and grew up with them, I guess. So they don't change throughout their lives. They are completely unique to her. She does have a little swirl on her tail, which I think is really cute, but yeah, completely unique to her. Oh, there she goes, getting a drink.
I'm gonna go right behind you. What is their lifespan?
So in their natural habitats, it'd be about 15 years. In human care, it's about 20 years. So a little bit extra. They get, you know, all the medical attention they could ever need. You know, great diet. Pretty much everything they could ever want, they get here. So it is going to extend their lifespan a little bit.
Jennifer says that this week, learning from home, Kara, age 6, is learning about adaptations. Can you talk about some of her physical or behavioral adaptations that tigers have that are made for their environment?
So these guys are ambush predators. So as Kara was asking about the stripes, they do have stripes to help blend in with the dense foliage of where they're from, which is Indonesia. And then they'll sneak up on a prey animal and then, you know, ambush them. They normally hunt like tapir, muntjac, wild boar, stuff like that. But yeah, that's going to be a big thing. Also the eye spots. So of course that would be something that would deter predators. And you know, claws and teeth, because they are hunters, would be an adaptation they use for hunting.
Do you know how fast tigers can run?
I don't know. I've heard it's like 40 miles an hour, but in really short bursts. So that's why they are the ambush predators, is because they can't sustain that speed for a long time. So they're just going to sneak up, catch the thing, and then they're done.
And a few people are asking, why is she out here alone?
So tigers are solitary. They don't want other cats around. They do not want it. This is her house. This is her home. She wants it alone. They wouldn't do well with other animals. She did have a sister here for a little bit, but once they got old enough, they did not get along. They did not want to be together. So her sister is actually at the San Diego Zoo, I believe, doing an SSP, which is Species Survival Plan. So she is with a male there, and they're going to see if they get along and if there are cubs. But they otherwise would not want to be with another animal.
Megan would like to know what her favorite food is.
Her favorite food is probably, we'll say, whipped cream. She really likes steaks that we give her, but I think she'll do anything for whipped cream. She loves it so much. Or sometimes it's kind of gross, but it's probably blood as well. She loves blood. It's really gross. But we do save it from their diets, and we freeze it, so on hot days they have a nice ice treat. We call it a blood sickle. It's really gross, but they love it.
Was she born here?
She was born here. She is 6 years old, and her birthday was August 3rd of 2013, so she is almost 7. But she was born here, and she has lived here her whole life. Yeah.
And I know I keep asking, but it's such a cool and important thing and impactful thing. Can you tell everyone again about their biggest threat out in the wild and what all of us viewers can do to help ease that?
Yeah, so one of their biggest threats is definitely deforestation, and that's caused because of unsustainable palm oil practices. So what palm oil is it's actually in about like half of everything we buy, which is like makeup, it's food, it's you know, all sorts of stuff, soaps and stuff like that. So it's really important to buy sustainable products, and an easy way to do that is to download a free app from the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, and it's just called Palm Oil. And it goes on your phone, and you can take it with you to the store and scan barcodes, and it'll tell you if a company is doing really well and they're using palm oil from the Roundtable of Sustainable Palm Oil, or if it could use work. And it's really important too for like Halloween candy or Easter candy. It's a really good way to tell companies, hey, we're wanting to look out for tigers. And it also helps tigers, orangutans, elephants, rhinos, all sorts of animals. So it's really good to have and to use, and just to put our buying power where we want it.
Since they are a solitary species, how long do cubs typically stay with mom?
That I'm not too sure. I would imagine it's like a year or so. I honestly don't know all that well.
Most large cat species that are solitary, or any cat species that are solitary, it's rarely longer than a year. That's why that first year is so pertinent for them to learn how to hunt, so that when mom leaves, they know how to fend for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
How many times does she eat in a day?
It kind of depends. Sometimes we feed her once a day, and sometimes it's twice a day. It just depends. Sometimes we will save some of the steak meat that we have. Like we have a hamburger meat and we have a steak meat. And we'll save the steak meat because they like that a little bit more. And then we'll use it for training later in the day. And then if they don't want to train, we'll wait a little bit and then feed it to them a little bit later after that. But generally I'd say about once a day.
How often would they eat out in the wild?
So they would only catch a big catch about like once a week, and then they just eat on that for a couple days. So they do get a little bit more feeding days than they would get in their natural habitat. But she honestly gets pretty upset on her fast days, so she's not a fan. And we do sometimes give them stuff like a carcass. So we recently got, I think, a goat carcass or something like that, which she got to eat, and then we did fast her the next day. And then Sundays they get a guinea pig and a bone, so it's kind of also a fast-ish day.
Do you know if there are any plans for our zoo to participate in Tiger SSP and bring in a male?
So there might be. We're waiting. We actually have them track the entire like family tree and genetic line of these animals. So it just depends on if there's a suitable match for her that's going to give us an animal with like a lot of variation in their genetics, and if she makes me nervous when she does that, and if they would go well together. And then of course you put them together and just see if they get along or if not. But so we're waiting to see if there is a male who's suitable for her.
Do you ever go free contact with her?
We never go free contact with her. She is a predator. She is a very big predator. She weighs about 200 pounds. I would be terrified. She can have good moods, but she could also flip on a dime. We do treat these guys like wild animals because they are. They do not make good pets. They eat a lot, and I would never want to go free contact with her.
Catherine would like to know if you do any husbandry training with her.
So we do husbandry training. We want them to participate in like their own medical care. So she is trained on getting a vaccine, and she can.
I lost her.
Oh yeah, she likes hiding. And she can also put her paws against the fence so we can check them. So if she gets something stuck in her paw or something, it would be an easy way for us to not have contact with her, but to help her out. And it's stress-free for her. She gets a nice, we normally use like whipped cream or blood or something, but she gets a nice treat either way. And yeah, no stress, and we get to give her the medical care she needs. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody involved.
Can you tell everyone again what her name is?
Her name is the Royal Jamali, and she is a 6-year-old Sumatran tiger.
Do you ever feed live food?
We don't feed live food. That's not to say she doesn't catch some of her own food. We do find some duck feathers every once in a while, but we don't, just because that's not something we really do here.
We focus on animal welfare for all species, even the animals that might be prey animals in our care. So we actually focus and do welfare assessments on things all the way down to the crickets and mealworms that we care for, that we feed out. Usually the bugs are the only live food items that we feed. How much do they eat in a day?
I'd probably say like 8 to 10 pounds, and it kind of depends on what kind of day it is. So today she probably got like 10 pounds of like hamburger type meat, and a little bit of the steak type meat. And then tomorrow they won't get any food, just to replicate what they would be doing in the wild, which is, you know, they wouldn't catch something every day.
So down in the moat, I don't know if you all saw it a minute ago, but I can try and show it again. There's what looks like a big barrel. Can you talk about that and what that is?
Yeah, so that is her enrichment. It was from yesterday. I am going to bring her back inside and go and give her new enrichment, but she likes barrels. I think I put some fun scent on it or something. They like any kind of disgusting scent that we really don't like. They like deer scent, they like rabbit scent, dove scent, just the smelliest cologne you can ever imagine. Anything that's...
What kind of cologne do you know?
It's called like Aramis. I don't know. I don't want to shame anybody.
We have to teach people.
Don't wear that, please.
Don't wear that.
But she really likes that one. They'll like lick and rub on it and all that stuff. It's just any smelly thing. They like deer urine as well. It's kind of gross stuff.
Cassandra, yes, you're right. EED, that's what the toys are called, or environmental enrichment devices. All right, well, before we wrap up, Katie, can you go ahead and tell everyone what all of our viewers at home can do to help support the Royal Jamali and other animals here at the zoo?
Yeah, of course. So you can always like and share this video, which would help us a lot and get the word out. We do depend entirely on guest and revenue, so we do need y'all's help. And you can also donate directly to our emergency fund at the sazoo.org, which would really help us out as well. Great, thanks guys!